and all these on that option. Get the mask on my face like a catch. Don't call my phone unless you trying to copy. I'll pull up and serve you well.
Will Donte Moncrief take the Carolina Panthers over the top? Yo! Welcome to LCameraTV. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with things like Facebook and Reddit and Instagram and Rumble.com and Twitter and wherever else. And guys, we got a lot to talk about, man. The Carolina Panthers picked up a receiver. Definitely got to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? He's all right. Definitely got to talk about that. Is the receiving core solidified? Got to talk about that. And how will this benefit us against the team that's coming up next? So we got a lot to talk about, guys. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Carolina Panthers picking up Donte Moncrief. Now Donte Moncrief just got waived by the Steelers. He had 4 catches for 18 yards. He had 5 drops. Definitely not good. But we seen Donte Moncrief up and down. We seen him really good in the Colts. We seen him not so good in the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Steelers. So he had a very up and down career. That's what it is, right? Now, for me, I think it's an okay pickup. I don't like it. I don't dislike it. I mean, I like it a little bit. I guess if I had a grade, it would be like a B pickup. Because Donte Moncrief, we've seen how good he can be. Now, mind you, he suffers from the drops. And you don't want a receiver that drops balls, obviously Kelvin Benjamin. But we've seen he can be pretty good. Obviously, when he was with the Colts, he was a pretty good receiver. You know what I'm saying? He got good yardage. But one of the main reasons why the Panthers decided to get him was because our receiving coach used to work for the Colts and has a relationship with him. So I understand that. But I think it's an okay pickup. I don't think it's something to write home about. I think he's going to be a good addition to our receiving core. And plus, we needed kind of like a bigger receiver, dealing with the Chris Hogan injury. And, obviously, we won't have that much taller receivers. So he's a good addition. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any issue with that. And hopefully, we can get him on a jugs machine and he can work on his drops. Because drops, I think, is more of a concentration thing. It's not like he can't catch the ball. I think it's more of, they think about moving before they think about catching. And that's the problem. When you move too quickly or you think about, going on the route already instead of, or trying to get yards, positive yardage, you don't concentrate on catching the ball and it can pop out your hand. So he definitely need to work on the jugs machine. Obviously, Curtis Samuel had an issue with, drops and catching the ball. So I think if he works on the jugs machine and, he trains on that, I think he'll be a pretty good receiver. So shout out to the Panthers for, still trying to make moves in this, later stage of the season. But this is not really a big splash pick. I think it's a good pickup, but it's not a splash pickup like most people thought it would be. And the second thing I want to talk about is the receiving core solidified. I don't think so, man. I think the problem with our receiving core has always been we have a bunch of C-B level receivers. You know what I'm saying? I think, now we have more of the B level, but we have no A-plus receiver. We have no bona fide number 1 receiver that can dictate coverages and have them roll over to his side. When you have a receiver like that, it makes it easier for everybody else because they're getting either single coverage or they're getting the sorrier corner, to be honest with you. So that's what that receiver does. Even if that receiver does not get as much yardage or doesn't, ball out every game, his presence is dictating towards the defense, and the defense has to roll coverage over time. Just like Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey dictates to the defense and makes them have to put 8 people in the box and kind of scheme and pay attention where he's at so people can get open. But if you have another receiver like that, then you put a defense in a bad situation because if they give the number 1 receiver one-on-one coverage, then because if let's say they stack the box and they give the number 1 receiver one-on-one coverage, he's gonna beat that coverage every time. If they roll coverage over there, Christian McCaffrey is gonna have an open, open lane and open running lanes, and he's gonna be able to, get positive yardage. So those two things dictate. But the problem right now is, and what we've been seeing the last few games, is that everybody knows Christian's getting the ball, and because everybody knows Christian's getting the ball, they're just stacking the box, and it makes it harder for us, especially good teams. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Titans are not, that great of a team. Cardinals, stuff like that. They're not going to do that. But the San Francisco 49ers, who made a concerted effort, even though Christian McCaffrey had 100 rushing yards, they had a concerted effort to stop the run. Make sure none of the receivers get open, whatever. pressure us with coverage. You know what I'm saying? So they had a concerted effort. We're going, and the harder teams are going to do that because they know Christian is the whole offense. Yesterday he had 3 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 2 rushing. You know what I'm saying? So he's a whole offense. You need somebody that's going to dictate to the defense and say, hey, we cannot sag off on this receiver. We cannot sag off on these guys because they're good. When you had Cam Newton in there, the read option made people hesitate. It made people think, hey, we can't really load the box up because he might fake to give it to Christian McCaffrey running himself, and that makes it harder for us. That's why the read option works so well. That's why the read option works for Lamar Jackson, because you cannot just scheme against Mark Ingram. You have to scheme against Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram, and it's just harder to do that. Plus, if you do a fake read option and then throw the ball, you got single coverages on, on the outside, and your number 1 receiver is going to beat that. So those are plays that make defenses, work harder because they got to keep their eyes, steady. They got to make sure they keep their gaps, all that stuff. It makes it harder for them to scheme against your team. Right now, our team is very easily schemed against, and that's why people think North Turner's not doing that well, because his offense is very simple compared to, let's say the Kyle Shanahan's and the West Coast offense. So I think the receiving core is not solidified until you get a number 1 receiver, a bona fide number 1 receiver. That's why I still think if AJ Green's a free agent this offseason, I think we should go after him. Or if you don't, I would rather have Courtland Sutton, but you can get a receiver out of the draft because a lot of good receivers coming out of the draft. But we need a bona fide guy that's going to be like, hey, this guy's a really good receiver. You cannot sag off defense on him. And if you have that, it will dictate towards the whole team, and the offense will look a lot better. That's why Amari Cooper changed life in Dallas. And finally, will Donte Moncrief help us out against the Green Bay Packers? I think so. I think Donte, if we can get him up to speed, because again, he's coming from the Steelers, he has to learn the playbook, and we don't know if he's going to be up to speed next week. But I definitely think it will help us overall, long term. So, me personally, I definitely think Donte Moncrief will acclimate with the system pretty quickly. Like I said, the receiver coach, that he's going to be with, he has a relationship with. So maybe he'll be up to speed. And besides, I think his plays count's going to be limited. It's not like they're going to, throw the whole book at him and stuff like that. They probably give him a set plays, whatever, so he can run and he'll be on the field. I think he'll be kind of a semi-impact. Definitely. I definitely think he'll be able to get acclimated soon. And I think he'll, make some catches. Hopefully, like I said, he can handle the drop situation. I think more of his drops are probably concentration drops instead of, him just can't catch the ball. Because there's certain players who just couldn't catch the ball. I think Ted Ginn had a real issue with catching the ball. And he worked on that over years. But I think Donte Moncrief, his drops are more, oh man, I'm trying to, move, turn the field, or I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And he's not paying attention to what he's doing, and he doesn't catch the ball correctly. So hopefully, that can change. Hopefully we can, like I said, figure that out, get him on the adjust machine, have him, catch balls all after practice and stuff like that. Kind of work on that, because I don't think that's indicative of a player he is. But like I said, I think he'll be, an addition. I think he'll be some help. I think, we can kind of get him up to speed to some extent so he can actually play against Green Bay. And I don't think the Panthers will get him just to have him, not be ready till the week after. I think Green Bay is a really big test for the Panthers. And I think the Panthers want to come out, like gangbusters and kind of show that they can compete with the better teams. Because again, that San Fran game was abysmal for us. So I think they're like, okay, we don't want that to happen again. And they seem that the Packers can be susceptible. Obviously, the Packers lost to the Chargers because of pass rush. The Chargers 6-4, got home and hit Aaron Rodgers a lot. And that's how they won the game. And I think the Panthers, obviously leading the league in sacks, can do that also. We don't really have to blitz, constantly. We have, a pretty good front, especially when Mario Addison comes back. So they want to win this game. They want to show that they can compete with the better teams in the league. And I think that's part of the reason why they decided to make this move once he got waived. So I think he'll be up to speed. I don't think they'll pick him up just to have him sit on the bench until next week. I think the week after that we play the Falcons or the Redskins. So this is the game that matters. This is the game that matters. The Packers are leading their division. We are second in our division. These are the games that really matter because, again, wild cards and all that stuff, that all matters. You won't know who, unless we beat the Saints both times and the Saints kind of go on a losing streak, it looks like they're going to win the division. So we need to solidify a wild card spot. That's just being honest. Well, that's it for me, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share cool things like Facebook and Reddit and Instagram and Roma.com and wherever else. And guys, get in the comment section, man. Let me know, do you like this Donte Moncrief pickup? Do you dislike it? Definitely put that in the comment section below. Check out the description for the Spreadshirt account and the Patreon page and the NFL affiliate link. Definitely check those out, man. Cop some camera gear. Y'all already know what it is, man. Check out my dog Renard's Steam's channel. Like I said, his junk is blowing up right now. Get on the wave before it passes you by. Definitely check out his channel. We got a podcast on there. Very funny dude, very talented. I think you guys really like his channel. Definitely keep the trickle effect going. Check out my other channel, Sundial Sensei. For anybody who likes anime, comic books, anything like that, check out Sundial Sensei. You know what I'm saying? That's my other channel. And share to all the Panther fans, my Panther related, my football related. Let them know LCameraTV is working on Panther Nation. Panther Nation working on LCameraTV. Thank y'all for showing love. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for always turning up with the boy. And I'm gonna see y'all next time. Peace.